Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, yo. This was a decision made by a team that had a playoff team. A.Smith was a good quarterback, and they made a decision to go be great. And since then, that's all we've seen. And not only that, but they play in a Super Bowl game where they get embarrassed. And that embarrassment for them wasn't, let's stand pat, let's do exactly what we always do. It was, let's change things. Let's go fix a problem and make a problem an asset. And I talked to Xavier Worthy this week. He said Patrick Mahomes has been totally different this offseason. Say he's always dialed in. His sense of urgency is always high, but it's even higher. He said the way we played against the Chicago Bears in the last preseason game was an example of what we want to be. It's not about taking anything lightly. They don't feel like they're the three-time champion. They don't feel like they're a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. They're a team that got embarrassed and needs to prove who they are this season, and I expect them to do that.
Dan?
I took the Denver Broncos to win the division. A couple reasons why. Number one, I think the Broncos have the best offensive and defensive line combination in the conference. In conversation with Baltimore, I just think that's the best grouping. I think number two, this team went 10-7 last year with $89 million of dead cap space. That's gone for the most part. So this roster is absolutely loaded. They have the Defensive Player of the Year returning Patrick Surtain. They got two studs on the defensive line. I think their perimeter players are probably the weakest part of their team, and even Sutton's a really nice player. The addition of Evan Ingram, they got a coach who's won a Super Bowl. And I also look at it like this. With the Chiefs, they open tonight against the Chargers, playoff football team. Then they have the Eagles next week, playoff football team. 2 weeks later than that, they have the Baltimore Ravens, playoff football team. The Detroit Lions after that, a playoff football team. So 4 playoff football teams in their first 6 weeks. And the reason I bring up the first 6 weeks because there's no Rashee Rice in those 6 weeks. Rashee Rice is the best wide receiver on this football team. So to not have him, I do think is going to have an impact. Yes, they're a playoff football team, absolutely. And yes, they're very much so Super Bowl contending football team as always. I just think the roster for the Raiders is the Broncos is so strong, and that first 6 weeks without Rice gives me a little hesitation for the Chiefs.
I'm not with you. I'm with RC on this one. I think that you got to show me that you're an AFC West team that can knock off Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. This man is 35-5 against the West in his career.
That's insane.
Just complete domination. And then we also, and I'm going to bring this, but I understand your trepidation about them, even though I'm siding with RC on this one. I get it. The flip side to it, however, is that when I look at Kansas City, I'm thinking about that offensive line. 4 different dudes played left tackle for you last year. You go out and you draft this guy, Josh Simmons. He's a rookie is supposed to be protecting your blind side. Good luck with that. I'm not sold on it.
A lot of people thought he'd go higher, too.
I understand. And I understand.
Only reason, injury?
Yeah, and I understand it, but I'm just saying a rookie is going to protect your blind side. I'm suspect on that, okay? He's going to have ups and downs like any other rookie will. That's just what I'm anticipating, okay? Tooney's gone. He's with the Chicago Bears now. We get that part, okay? Then I got to go back to the Super Bowl, and I'm remembering you being 0 for 5 with 5 sacks under pressure in the Super Bowl. I'm remembering the fact that Pro Football Focus has your offensive line ranked like 20th or lower. There's speculation that the offensive line might not, some people that think it's better, but there are others out there that think it's going to be worse. I don't know the answer to that question, but I know
people think the Chiefs' offensive line will be worse than last year?
You have people saying this right now. So what I'm saying to you is, I don't know how true that is. I'm just telling you what I read. My point is that in the end, what's been your kryptonite? Your offensive line and its ability to protect when it really, really counts. But that's in the playoffs. There's nothing to worry about during the regular season with Kansas City. They make it too interesting, these close games, and I get that part. But when you got Patrick Mahomes, you'll find a way to win more than you lose during the regular season. That's where I'm at with it. I can't see Denver or the Raiders or the Chargers knocking them off that pedestal in the regular season.
And I think, too, though, for the Kansas City Chiefs, it is the fact that, and you know this, Stephen A., from basketball, much like the Warriors, right? When a team is competing against you in the West, they start to build their roster in a way to compete with you.
Got it.
And we saw that happen in the West. I think that's what's happening as well with the Broncos, with the Raiders, with the Chargers. They've all gotten better. And so it's not going to just be about do we beat the Broncos 2 times or do we split with the Broncos. It's how we fare in the entire division, which we've dominated, especially listening to what Dan says about some of the other playoff caliber teams that they have to play this season.
Yeah, so again, this is – if Rashee Rice was not under suspension, I probably would side with you guys and say, yeah, Kansas City. I just think his impact on that football team,
How many of those early games are you expecting them to lose, Dan?
2? You know,
Okay.
maybe 3. That feels heavy for me.
So you're saying
3 is
3 and
heavy.
3. So you're saying 3 and 3 at that
at
point.
worst, like if things are bad.
And I feel like if Rashee Rice can make that big of a difference, if this team is 4 and 2 after 6 games, with the Detroit Lions being a part of that, with the Chargers being a part of that, with the Baltimore Ravens being a part of that, the Eagles, you feel pretty good moving forward based on your division. We're not asking will they be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC.
I agree. Real quick though, they beat the Broncos when they played.
Blocked the field goal.
16-14.
Yep.
They beat the Chargers, I think, 17-10 and then 19-17. They beat the Raiders 19-17. So it's, while the division, he's dominated them.
No, they were all by a score. There was like that crazy stat almost every
It's
game.
the
was by,
pedestrian offense you talked about a lot yesterday when speaking
gotta
on
get better.
Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert.
We'll see, because they're playing tonight, and they're favored by 3.5 in Brazil against the Chargers. I want to get to the man, though, who dominated the AFC for years. No, not Tom Brady. We're talking Bill Belichick. And University of North Carolina football denied practice access to a New England Patriots scout last month, while he has allowed limited access to scouts from other NFL teams. That, according to ESPN. RC, do you appreciate this pettiness by Bill Belichick?
Ask you a question. Why are we calling it petty?
Bruh.
Why is that petty?
Because it's specific to New England and
No, she said limited access to everybody.
but specific to New England that they have
Denied versus
correct.
limited.
There's some that their
England's
scouts
denied.
cannot watch practice at all.
Did you watch North Carolina play? He saved the scouts some time.
He's stupid.
That is not Bill being petty. What Bill is saying is these guys at this moment actually don't deserve your evaluation.
Stop it.
I would
Nice spin, RC.
I would actually like for you not to come. I don't want y'all to see what I got to deal with right now. I'm actually questioning if I'm still Bill Belichick right now at North Carolina. So let me get my guys right before you come in. Bill is not being, hey, you know what Drake once said?
No.
Well, you know what he said?
Hit me with it.
He wasn't hiding his child from the world. He was hiding the world from his child.
Yeah.
That's what Bill is
All right.
doing.
So
Protection.
I want to be respectful here. I think this is stupid, and I think it's wrong. One, you're hurting your players. Like if I'm a kid there, I want to get recruited. I want to have a chance to go to the NFL. Part of the process is you coming to evaluate me. Part of the process is you coming to see me at practice and whatnot. The only way you have to call, I think, like a special assistant to a personal player director to have a conversation about me. Or if I'm a recruit. I'm a recruit. And RC, you know this. Like, if you're a high school football player, I think most high school football players that are really good want to go play in the SEC. Specifically, if you're down in that part of the country, they want to play in the SEC. And the second thing is they want to go to the NFL. If I'm a high school recruit, part of me can sit there and go, like, it's not going to impact you that much. But part of me goes, how can I truly believe that? Like, if I'm a high school recruit and you don't allow NFL scouts to come watch me practice?
He is, just not New England. Stephen A., why do you think Bill did this? Because RC tried to spin it, but
I was just having fun.
I know. What do you think?
I don't care. Did you watch North Carolina last week?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, last Monday? They were horrible. I am sitting here marveling over the fact that scouts actually were interested in watching them.
Come on, man.
They were awful. Awful. There's no way around this.
Was that talent or was that more coaching?
Look, y'all. It was listen, Bill Belichick is a 6-time champion as a head coach, an 8-time champion overall. And after watching that, he had us wondering we had us looking at this what's been going on the last 4 years in New England since Tom Brady departed. Your last 4 years there. I mean, instead of reminding, Tom Brady went out of his way to remind us, look, man, I ain't winning this by myself. My teammates were great. My coach was great. I couldn't have won these championships without Bill Belichick. Reminding everybody that no matter how great you think he is, there was a reason that coach. And I was on the air before North Carolina played, reminding everybody, respect that man. There's a 6-time champion as a head coach. I'm not saying that.
How much of that even falls on Bill, though?
I'm just saying, when they're that bad, think about this. We understand literally. You're going to go watch him. You're going to go scout him. But damn, after that performance, the story, it didn't come out before the season began. They're saying, in other words, like, after that performance last Monday, you don't want the New England Patriots watching you. Why should he want them watching him?
So I will say this, because I was clowning.
I know.
Every NFL team should have the same amount of access.
I agree.
So to me, that's the only pettiness.
Right.
The limited access sounds like Bill Belichick to me. If you listen to everything about the way the New England Patriots were ran, they were ran differently than other organizations. And it felt like everything that Bill Belichick did, it had a meaning to it. It had a reasoning to it. If part of the reasoning is, I need these players to be better to earn that opportunity. I need these players to be better to see more scouts on the sidelines, more scouts at practices, more scouts at scrimmages. They're going to have to show me that they are worthy of that, or I have to do a better job to develop them to that. I understand that. The problem for me is the New England Patriots, no matter how it shook out in the end, gave you 2 decades of employment and an opportunity to become the greatest coach that has ever been.
Right.
And you owe them the exact same amount of respect, if not more, than every other team in the NFL.
Agree. 1,000% agree.
And that's the point. And also, again, I'll go back to, like, if I had a son, I would want to make sure that, like, my son's getting seen by everybody possible. And so if there's a organization, I do think it's going to impact recruiting. That's my point. I'd also say this. Vrabel's now the head coach, his ex-player. Like, you're hindering his potential ability to go have a successful run.
No disagreement whatsoever. I'm just telling you that after watching them play last Monday, somebody, and I'm not talking about me, meaning me on First Take, I'm talking about a fan watching it. With the first thought that came to our mind was, why the hell is somebody there scouting them right now? They need to get better before they want scouts to see them. That's how bad their performance was.
It was, and I think, and there was a time on the sideline, I read Bill's lips, and he says, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
And I thought to myself, exactly, right? Because you are Bill Belichick, and there's supposed to, in my mind, there's supposed to be something that you have, a level of knowledge and experience that when you walk into North Carolina, you make players better, you make the team better simply by what you know. And we didn't see that against TCU. We didn't see effort against TCU.
Yeah.
We didn't see tackling in the open field. Some of the things that you can work on, the minute details. And so scouts being at practice is the last problem right now that North Carolina has.
Fair enough, but maybe for your ego, you want to protect it a little.